Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. Prince Albert RCMP have arrested and charged a man and woman after a shooting in Little Red River. Officers were called to the community at 9 a.m. Sunday for report of a shooting. Officers learned there was a man outside when a black SUV approached him. One of the occupants fired a gun, injuring the male, and the SUV drove away. The man was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police found the vehicle in Little Red River outside a residence and arrested 34-year-old Jared Natauhau and 33-year-old Jackie Morin. They both appeared in provincial court Tuesday. A coroner's inquest into the death of a woman who died in custody at the Pine Grove Correctional Facility in Prince Albert has made 7 recommendations for the correctional facility. 33-year-old Lynette Kakakaway died after being found unresponsive in her cell in June of 2022. Among the recommendations that there be more medical units at the center with nurses staffed 24 hours, more specialized training for addictions care and treatment, and a specific unit for inmates going through opiate withdrawals. Jurors also suggested inmates undergo a full medical exam when they arrive. An 8th recommendation was made to the Ministry of Justice and Attorney General that all coroner's inquests be completed within 1 year of a person's death. 2 Saskatchewan employers are facing charges under provincial legislation to protect foreign workers. Vikram Singh is charged with 4 offences under the Foreign Worker Recruitment and Immigration Services Act. They include charging a fee for employment, threatening deportation without grounds, and breaching a foreign worker's trust or exploiting their fear. The province says the alleged offences happened at Taste of Battlefords between April and June of 2024 in North Battleford. Harinder Sachdeva is facing 6 offences, 4 under the Foreign Worker Recruitment and Immigration Services Act and 2 under the Immigration Services Act. The alleged offences took place at Rick's Place and Taste of Battlefords between April and July of 2024. The legislation protecting foreign workers can result in large fines. If the employer is found guilty, employers can also lose the right to hire foreign workers. An event hosted at the University of Saskatchewan gathered experts to discuss agriculture, energy, minerals, and how the 3 resources can strengthen Canada's economy. It's part of a larger initiative led by the University of Calgary's School of Public Policy with the goal of addressing long-term declines in productivity. Those issues were discussed at Canada's Productivity Summit in 2025.
The biggest, most important source of long-term increases in our standard of living comes from our ability to make more goods and services for every hour that we work. And that's really what productivity is economically.
This event marks the 5th of 6 sessions, with the final event set to take place in Toronto and focus on innovation and technology.
Okay, before we go any further, didn't that guy kind of look like Michael Keaton?
I was trying to think that. I was going to say, he looks like someone familiar. There you go.
There you go.
Maybe he's a double, a stunt double.
A doppelganger. There.
What do we got in terms of weather, Jeff? A little colder again.
Well, yesterday wasn't bad, and today still not, frigid, but that's going to be the situation tomorrow as the polar vortex really starts to take control of our weather pattern. And it's not just affecting Saskatchewan and the prairie provinces. All the way out to the east coast, it's going to be making an impact. And down in the US of A, they are, getting ready for a nasty weather event that is going to extend from Texas all the way up to the Carolinas and have impacts up in New England. So it's a messy situation for North America, and it's all because of this cold Arctic air. And we'll talk about that later on.
Today is Bill Let's Talk Day, encouraging Canadians to speak openly about mental health. For people living with schizophrenia like Kim Pratt, the stigma has been a real challenge. From before her diagnosis at 29 to long after, the Schizophrenia Society of Saskatchewan says education and open dialogue are the key to helping people seek support and feel understood. Pratt shares her story at schools, workplaces, or other community organizations, spreading the word that mental illness is manageable with good supports.
Let's think about being out of control with your mind, and you can't control it, and you know it. It's not fun. Not being able to control your depression, it's not fun. It's not a day off of work. You're in bed because you can't breathe.
Advocates say continuing the conversation year-round is what leads to real change. The creation of an accommodation tax came up at City Hall yesterday, but the City of Saskatoon is having an issue with its own version of the tax. Some Saskatoon hotels voluntarily charge a destination marketing fee to fund tourism initiatives. This 4% fee added to a hotel stay became the target for the Competition Bureau of Canada, who sees this drip pricing as a hidden cost consumers aren't made aware of. Class action lawsuits have followed, and 6 Marriott hotels in the city are prohibited from collecting voluntary fees, which has cut funding that would otherwise go to Discover Saskatoon.
And of course, the impacts are quite large given Marriott's dominance in our market and in others. And so the current state is that those Marriotts are unable to participate in our current voluntary DMF program, which is what we're facing in the reduction of revenues to the demand generator that is Discover Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan is currently the only province in Canada that does not have an accommodation tax. The city is lobbying provincial lawmakers to change that so a mandatory hotel tax can help pay for the downtown event and entertainment district. An agreement between Canada and China means Saskatchewan beef producers are happy that they can export their product to another country. The Saskatchewan Cattle Association says it exports 50% to other countries and keeps the other 50% in the country. Before, 70% of those exports would go to the United States. Other notable countries include Japan, Mexico, and South Korea.
If we can diversify our trade with other countries rather than relying completely on the U.S. for such a high percentage of our exports, that just helps us out with risk management. And so having China come on is great. And that equates to about $200 million worth of beef that we were last exporting to them.
Saskatchewan has the second largest cattle population in Canada behind Alberta. The federal and provincial ministers of agriculture have announced support for livestock and forage-related research projects in Saskatchewan. Heath MacDonald and Provincial Ag Minister David Merritt announced $4.5 million through the Agriculture Development Fund for 25 new projects, as well as $3.9 million to renew a multi-year partnership with the Prairie Swine Centre and Vito. Projects include developing new types of hybrid brome grass for improved digestibility, improved grazing strategies for sustainable bison production, and developing earlier and more reliable testing for Jonas disease. When we come back, a love story for the ages. Jasmine Pelche finds out about Shakespeare in Love coming to Prince Albert.
Joining us are the co-directors of the upcoming production of Shakespeare in Love. Hi guys, how's it going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
So is this play related to the movie at all?
Yes, it is. It's actually the play version of Shakespeare in Love, the Oscar award-winning movie, which is what caught my interest in it in the first place. I've been wanting to do it for about maybe even almost 10 years, 8 years, something like that. I'm not quite sure, but I've been trying to get it done for the last several years. And then finally this year it was time to do it. So yeah.
It was time to do it. What does that mean?
Well, just, you know, we had the right people get involved. I mean, one of the things I knew is that I wanted Adriana to come on board. And, you know, so I sent her the play, or I gave her the play, and she read it. And, you know, I thought at first maybe she would stage manage, but she read it. She gave me notes, so I knew she was on board. But she's like, one thing though, I wanna co-direct with you. So I'm like, absolutely fine. Adriana is so organized and hardworking and energetic, and you know, so that alone made it worthwhile. And we've just got such a great cast and a great group of people working on the play, and it was just all the right elements came together at the time. So yeah, it was time to do it.
Adriana, what made you want to co-direct?
Well, it's a huge play, and to me, when you have a play that big, you need to have two sets of eyes on the script, I think, and on the action that's happening. You also need to have a huge team, and I knew that we needed to have like PA's best stage managers on it, so we have Dana and Jenna Strauss, who I brought on board, and yeah, Kimmy's a dear friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time. We've done a lot of theater together. I knew how bad she wanted to do this play. I knew she needed lots of hands on deck, like all the best hands in PA on deck. And so I said, okay, well, we're going to help Kimmy do this play that she wants to do.
Yes. I knew if I had Adriana on board, everything else would fall into place. And it has. We've had, because I mean, as Adriana mentioned, it's such a big undertaking. We have a fight choreographer, a dance choreographer, an accent coach,
music director.
A music director. You know, and then of course we need things like a sponsorship person and wonderful stage managers. We have two of those as well because it's such a big show, and trying to even, you know, make a rehearsal schedule, like things like that. It's a lot of work, and it can be frustrating sometimes, but it's really coming together, and it's going to be a really beautiful show.
In 30 seconds or less, in case someone hasn't seen Shakespeare in Love, how would you kind of explain what it's about? Like, just give a little intro to it.
Well, Will Shakespeare, who I think we all know, is suffering from writer's block. And then he meets his muse, Viola de Lesseps, and thus the world-famous play Romeo and Juliet is born.
It's a work of fiction based on real people. Or some real people. So,
if someone is looking to find out more information about it, how can they do that?
They can go look us up on Facebook, Shakespeare in Love the Play. They can go to my website, littlebirdieproductions.ca, or go onto the Rollinson website to get your tickets, and there's a write-up there as well. And their website is earc.ca.
Yes, and the Odyssey Production Facebook page as well. Yeah, there's several places they can look, so.
And if I'm correct, it is coming up right before and directly on Valentine's Day. Was that intentional?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
And it falls during the Winter Festival as well, which is nice. So yeah, it runs the 11th to the 14th. And on the 14th, we actually have two performances. There's an afternoon matinee and then an evening show. So you have a couple options to get your Valentine's date night in. Or afternoon, I guess, if you're more of an afternoon date sort of person.
Yes, it's like a perfect show to take, bring a date on, or go on go be with your husband or whoever, your loved one. And yeah, I think it's a play that's got everything. It's music and fighting and,
like sword fighting.
Sword fighting, yes, there's sword fighting, yes.
Comedy and drama and romance.
Exactly.
It's all there.
Yeah, it's got just everything, which I think makes it like kind of a perfect play, It's a little bit of something for everyone, so.
Hey, sounds good. Well, a lot to work on for you guys, a lot to look forward to, but thank you so much for meeting me out here.
Oh, thank you.
Jeff's looking at the weather. He'll have the forecast after the break, and how a life-changing medical incident leads one man to help others. So, Jeff, a little extra snow on the prairies, and that thermometer is on its way down.
Yeah, that's going to be the big deal of the day. Last night, of course, we had some snow overnight, some drifting in some areas, maybe 2 to 4 centimeters of snow, depending on where you were. But the big thing now is that system is moving out, has pretty much already moved out, and the polar vortex and the cold Arctic air associated with that is slowly moving into our area, and it's going to be sticking around for at least 4 or 5 solid days. We'll get a bit of a reprieve from the coldest part of that system, but we are not out of the woods in terms of getting back to seasonal values. So, British Columbia, the coastal areas, like the coastal mountains off to the Pacific, they're okay. But Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, and the Atlantic region, everybody's feeling the cold. And as I mentioned earlier on, the effect of this cold Arctic air is going to be felt deeply into the States, and there could be some serious travel disruptions, among other things, in the US of A. And I'm sure it's going to have an impact on Canada as well, but it could be very impactful in America. All right, so let's take a look at our futurecast. So not a lot to talk about except the fact that there's no active weather, but and the good news is that the Pressure lines are starting to gap as we roll into tomorrow, so that means less windy conditions. But still, the temperatures are going to be so cold that even when the wind does back off, we run the risk of frostbite a minute to exposed skin. So really, it's not to be trifled with when it comes to this cold. So let's take a look around. So overnight, look at these numbers. Ouch. Partly cloudy skies, the winds dropping off a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit in the overnight period in some locations. But look at these numbers. Minus 32 for Spiritwood, minus 31 for the Battlefords, minus 33 the expected overnight temperature in Candle Lake, Birch Hills, and Nipawin, minus 32 for Rostern, and minus 34 in Melfort. Plug it in, plug it in. Okay, here we go with tomorrow's highs, and they're not high at all. Minus 28 for Spiritwood, minus 29 for the Battlefords under mainly sunny skies. Mainly sunny in Candle Lake, minus 29 there, minus 30 in Birch Hills, minus 29 in Rostern. Again, mainly sunny skies. That's true of Nipawin, mainly sunny and minus 29 in Melfort. A bit more cloud and a little bit colder, minus 30 in Melfort and area. So for Prince Albert, these flurries are winding down, but obviously with that wind out of this northwest at 30 gusting to 50, depending on how much of this snow is around and getting kicked around by the blowing winds, I don't think we'll have a repeat in terms of the travel not recommended alerts we had earlier today. But still in all, it is something to be to take note of. Tomorrow, minus 28 degrees, sunny skies. The good news is the winds do back off, so the wind chill won't have as much bite in it, but it's still going to be very cold at minus 28 degrees. It's about 16 degrees below seasonal and staying in the minus 20s. And look at those overnight temperatures approaching minus 40 for 3 nights in a row, minus 28 for a daytime high on Saturday. Sunday, while you're watching football, minus 17 degrees, minus 18 on Monday, minus 22 on Tuesday, and Wednesday, minus 19 degrees. So we really don't get much of a break from these cold temperatures until the latter part of next week, John.
And weird that the sunny days are the ones that are the coldest and the cloudy ones are kind of more manageable. Well,
the cloudy skies sometimes sort of insulate us a little bit with the like a blanket in some respects. But those are still cold temperatures. But yes, the coldest days don't have a lot in the way of cloud cover, and we really feel it.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thanks, Jeff. Well, if goals were eggs, the Prince Albert Raiders would have a full carton after last night's game against the Victoria Royals.
Trying to send it out front. It comes to Rudolph at the right point. On goal, Doobie-Doobie-Doo! He scores on the tip! And Braden Doobie has his 150th point in his WHL career!
Braden Doobie put up a goal and an assist. 3 Raiders had a 4-point night. The only players to not record a point were Braden Coots and Bennett Kelly as Prince Albert beats Victoria 12-2. The Royals only managed a single shot on net in the first period, finishing with less than half as many as the Raiders' 37. Prince Albert scored 7 goals in the third period. Up next is a set of 3 games in 3 nights in 3 cities, starting in Moose Jaw Thursday and finishing at home Saturday against Medicine Hat.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
The Saskatchewan Health Authority is expanding its booking system, allowing more communities to book lab appointments online. As of today, residents in Nipawin are able to book appointments for blood and urine collection, as well as ECGs and glucose tolerance testing. People in Melfort and Tisdale can begin booking on January 28th. To book, residents need a valid healthcare card and a phone number or email address where they can receive notifications. You can book an appointment or find more information on the Saskatchewan Health Authority's website. Now time for the story of a man who woke up remembering nothing except to help others. Adam Sawatsky explains.
One moment.
Oh. Uh-oh.
He's riding his bike.
Uh-oh.
Before suddenly collapsing.
And it happened like that.
The next moment, Ryan Heitinen was waking up in the hospital.
I forgot everything.
What do you mean by that?
Everything.
Not only did Ryan not remember who he was, he didn't know he was married with kids, let alone recognize the woman saying she was his mom.
I'm terrified.
Anne says her son had suffered a stroke before enduring brain surgery and being unresponsive for weeks.
At that point, they weren't sure if he was even going to make it.
Until one day, Ryan's wife and kids walked into his hospital room.
His face just lit up. Absolutely lit up.
I suddenly remembered I have a daughter and a son.
And we all kind of went, okay, this is what he needed. He needed a purpose.
Inspired by his family, Ryan has fought to learn how to do the most basic things again. And with the help of his healthcare team, is celebrating previously unimaginable accomplishments.
I would not have survived without them.
And Ryan would not be thriving.
Laughter is a thing.
Like when a condition called aphasia makes him unable to communicate with words, Ryan chooses to smile.
Smiling makes the world go round.
And after losing the ability to use his right arm and hand,
this is my 3D workspace.
Ryan taught himself how to use a 3D printer to design all sorts of adaptive tools, ranging from one-handed nail clippers to one-handed toothpaste dispensers.
I want to give back.
So Ryan started putting up posters offering to custom print all of his inventions to people in need for free.
To change lives would be the best that I could be.
And instead of mourning what he's lost, Ryan is choosing to celebrate all the good he can find.
And you have to find joy in your life. And Ryan has done that.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
All right, Jeff, some BC police pulled a car over for speeding, and on closer inspection, the car was held together by duct tape and wishful thinking. The door only stays shut thanks to this gate latch that was welded onto the car and had duct tape and rebar instead of a rear window. The driver was going 130 in an 80 zone. That's an easy pullover, I think, for the police, and they said they're amazed it was able to go that fast without disintegrating. Does that look like your first car, Jeff?
No, it doesn't. Thank goodness. But it does remind me of the scene from, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
Do you think this car is roadworthy? Yes, I do.
Got no speedometer. The radio's working clear as a bell, though. National News is next.